I just want to bring the children of Africa home,
okay.
because we understand the diaspora are Africa's true gold. Think of the brains that are in the diaspora. Think of the monies in the diaspora. If we can just repatriate those brains, repatriate those monies in an organized way, we don't need anybody. We are actually the only continent on earth that doesn't need the world. The world is Africa. Everybody knows it. There's not a single strategic planning session by any country around the world outside Africa that doesn't start with Africa. Because everything they need can and is being found in Africa. So we have what it takes, and they know it. You know, they're very jealous of us, actually very envious of what we have as a people. So not only have they gone after our natural resources, now they're going after our human resources. You see, they've gone for so many decades of reduced reproductive process. Now, the age gaps in their nations, huge. They are now looking for people to take care of them when they age. Being here in the country of the upright man is a dream come true. To President Traoré,
Je suis ému et très content de vous voir.
I am moved and very happy to see you here in Burkina Faso. Since the SNC events, it is more than a pleasure that you chose to come here to Burkina.
Dr. Rikana is one of the people who really supports the movement and who really supports the work that Ibrahim Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso and in Africa. And recently, her and a few people from the United States of America, the Black Americans, the African Americans, had to visit Burkina Faso to thank Ibrahim Traoré for what he has done and for what he is doing in Burkina Faso and in Africa, claiming that that is what Africa needs and that is what Africa wants. Take a look.
Being here in the country of the upright man is a dream come true. To President Traoré,
Your Excellency President Ibrahim Traoré, being here on the land of Burkina Faso today is truly a dream come true. The land of Thomas Sankara, and we see in you the reincarnation of Captain Thomas Sankara, and we are convinced that you are here to complete the work that they had already started. The work that they started in the 60s when they formed the Organization of the African Union to give a voice to Africa and to unite Africa. Excellency Mr. President, we think that what is happening today in the Sahel, in Mali, in Niger, and in Burkina Faso are not coups d'etat, but a revolution, and the revolution to unite Africa, and Africa must unite, and we are convinced that this revolution will go beyond the borders of the Sahel. Mr. President, you have shown us that it is possible to chase away the looters, to safeguard the land of our ancestors for our children. We are here today, Mr. President, for 3 missions. The first mission that brings us here today is that, Mr. President, I am bringing with me a delegation of descendants of the diaspora, and among them, there are descendants of Africans who were sold to slavery almost 400 years ago. Among them, there are also Africans who live abroad, in the United States, Australia, Europe, the Caribbean, Latin America, and many other African countries.
En Europe, dans les Caraïbes, en Amérique latine et dans plusieurs d'autres pays africains. Parmi ceux de la diaspora,
among those from the diaspora, there are some here this morning who, it is their first time to set foot on African soil. They bring with them the spirit of their ancestors, so that they can finally rest in peace in the land of Burkina Faso, of Thomas Sankara.
Dans la terre du Burkina Faso de Thomas Sankara.
The second reason why we are here, Mr. President, is to give you our support and say that we are with you. You are everything we hoped for and we wanted from a president. Mr. President, when we were preparing to come here, we were told that we should not come to Burkina Faso, that there is a red line, that Burkina Faso is at war and it is not stable, that it is not secure. But I reassure you, Mr. President, that we came to Burkina Faso, and we are proud to be here today, to see the work that has already been completed by you, the people of Burkina Faso. Then it is normal, and it is our responsibility to be here this morning, to tell you, Mr. President, that we are here, we support you, we are with you, and we are capable, and we are competent, and we want to help. And the third mission for which we are here today, Mr. President, is precisely to ask how can we support your leadership and this transition. Among us, there are experts like engineers, architects, doctors, businessmen and many others. And all we dream, Mr. President, is to bring our capabilities and our expertise to help build Burkina Faso, our Burkina Faso, and to help build the united Africa that we dream of.
So we are here. Our third mission is to see what can we do, Mr. President, to play our part in building the Burkina Faso we want.
And Ibrahim Traore, in return, had to raise his voice to say thank you for what Dr. Rikana has done. And thank you to the Black and African Americans who joined Dr. Rikana to go to Burkina Faso to see what the progress of Burkina Faso and to see what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Africa. Take a look.
I am moved and very happy to see you here in Burkina Faso. Since the SNC events, it is more than a pleasure that you chose to come here to Burkina. They surely told you that it is an unvisitable country, they told you that it's death here, it's war, there is only negative things, and Burkina is called black. That here, only blood and weapons flow, that's what is said elsewhere. Thank God you arrived safely. You were able to be in Bobo Dioulasso. You've lived with us. Our culture is what binds us Africans. You were able to commune with many other nationalities who came to celebrate with us. Everything went very well. Now you are in Ouagadougou, and I hope that you are very well received, very well housed, and that you managed to commune with your brothers here. This is an important message that you are sending to everyone, and now you will be the ambassadors of this message when you are at home. That Burkina is very friendly. We live in Burkina Faso. What they want to make people believe is not Burkina. This is what they draw to get people to flee Burkina, and they depict all of Africa like that. For them, Africa is misery. Africa is famine. Africa is war, but it's them who are responsible for this war. We need to unite, but they have always been there to divide us, to be able to reign on us through slavery. Our ancestors experienced it, and until today, we have it fed up in our flesh, but it continues. Our great people were deported, tortured, and again when they had their war, we supported them, but they paid us in monkey money. Others were killed when they tried to stake their claim. Several of them died in their village as a result of the war. Never recognized the work of the African. Our mission is first of all to awaken Africa and do better, so that you from the diaspora can make people understand what Africa is. When I see you, united in this association, I feel even more proud because that's all we are asking for today. Our fight is to be able to unite, because united we are strong, divide we are weak. They have always worked to divide us, so I urge you to spread the message so that Africa can unite it. We have been lucky or unlucky enough to live through war for several years, and at some point, we had to say enough is enough, that we are fed up. We have taken our responsibilities and we realize today more than ever that we were right to take our responsibilities. Because these armies that were installed here were never able at any time to monitor our territory, to see the terrorists who came to kill us and leave with all the means they had when we asked them to leave. Today, we were able to acquire an array of means that allow us to wage our war and ward off the threat, and contain it. I would say, we were able to equip our forces and replenish our armies. They don't necessarily like it, and they will create other schemes, but we are here and we will stand. Thanks to you we will always stand up, because the African spirit is resilience. We have suffered enough. The first thing you could do for Africa is through spreading the positive message that enough looting, enough deaths, it's time for us to unite and work. We only ask to live with dignity, and to live free. To pass the message to raise awareness. Some leaders always try to put their people to sleep and continue to plunder their people for the benefit of the West. It must stop. And who is better than you to pass this message to the different peoples? Africa must wake up, young people must wake up. Everything needs to be done in Africa. Look at how our cities are. We can also develop our health and education systems. We can develop everything. So in this rich diaspora, we have all the specialties today. In Burkina, we are thinking about setting up a polytechnic university just to train scientific engineers, and I think you will be welcome because as long as we will not train the youth. So that we ourselves can produce and process our produce here on site, we will always remain slaves. Sovereignty is a whole, and we are fighting for food self-sufficiency. Those who can invest in the agri-food industry to process our products here, you are welcome. We produce everything here, everything grows on our soil, and those who want to invest in agriculture are welcome. Those who want to invest in processing are welcome. Education. We want to transform our education because the formatting that we are currently experiencing is from the school they had channeled to us, so that the intellectuals for most parts cannot think about leaving the furrows that they have traced. Thank God, consciences are awakening. We need more. We need to change the education system. You are welcome on that. And there are many other paths. They were looting our wealth, but today we are regaining control and we are never going to leave our wealth behind. Because we want to live. We want to see our children cared for, educated, grow in peace and live in a healthy environment. So, we are open and you will be welcome in Africa to develop your continent, to unite your continent, and spread the message of this unity. It's very important. Continue to spread the message so that young people can wake up. Let them no longer let us leaders make them slaves for others. This must not be allowed. There are certain countries today to which we want to send messages, but I think that your voices even carry more, because you are ambassadors, and wherever you are, whether in America, in Europe, or in the Caribbean, you are ambassadors, and when you speak, it can awaken some, and I urge you to speak. This is the mission I entrust to you, to wake up the continent. Enjoy your stay, and may God accompany you.
the reason as to why we're encouraging African Americans to come back to Africa is because we want to build Africa. And we have just realized that we're having great minds out of Africa. In the US, in the Western countries, in Europe, African people are there. And what are they doing there? They are building the economy of the West. They are actually really doing a lot of things in the Western countries. They went there during slavery. They've been there for quite some time. And now that we are fighting to revolve Africa, we know that if we can join hands together with African Americans and the Black Americans and everybody who is black around the globe, we can be able to do it very easily because we need their support. They already know a lot of things. They know the weakness of the white people. There is nothing they don't know. Okay? If they're living there, that means when they give their help, we can be able to do a lot of things. And that is what we need. African Americans really need to come back home. When they can be able to come back home, that's the beginning of the good things in Africa. That will be the beginning of change, the beginning of greatness. As much as Africans who are in Africa today are still trying to do all things to make sure that something has changed, we know that if we can also have them, or if they come also in Africa, we're able to do a lot of things. We need to unite because only by uniting we can be able to achieve great things. You know, that's why some people so you'll see some people dividing other people so they can be able to rule. So they're using that act of divide to rule. Divide to rule. Okay? And so we don't want to be divided because when we are divided, we become very weak. And I think these white people, they knew this criteria a long time ago. They knew that if we want to really attack these people and to be able to manage them, we will do what we call divide to rule. Okay? So, you see, when we are divided, we cannot do anything. But when we come together, put our minds together, think together on one thing that we are supposed to do, that we want to do, we're able to do a lot of things. And that is why Dr. Ricarda is really, really, really walking around the globe, trying to educate and enlighten black people, asking them, telling them, you know what? Africa is home. East or west, home is the best. And home is Africa. Therefore, you people need to come back to Africa. We want to create a place and to make a place where African Americans and Black Americans will feel safe coming. They will feel good coming. That is what we want as African, as Black people. We want to be united. We come back together. We be one thing because Africa is your home. You're just born in Europe because of slavery. But in real sense, and the truth is, Africa is your home and Africa is your place. It's very unfortunate that black people are in Europe, and some of them, maybe they are calling Europe home. I saw someone in the comment section saying that you should not be deceived, that your birthright is Europe. You're supposed to be in Europe. So nobody should deceive you to come back to Africa. We are not deceiving anybody. We want our black brothers and our black sisters in Africa. That is what we want. Ibrahim Traore is a lover of Africa. And if you see Ibrahim Traore asking black people to come back to Africa, that means Ibrahim Traore also knows and he understands how significant you people are. Let's join our hands together. Let's unite ourselves and make Africa a great nation. Make Africa a great continent. One state with one military, with one currency. The United States of Africa, with the President Ibrahim Traore as the King of Africa. That's what we want. And if we can be able to do that, then we are good to go. So we are urging every African American, start coming to Africa. Find places in Africa. Come, let's do this thing once and for all together. Because the love we have for the people of Africa is extreme. And we want to have this love for all black people around the globe, as we are still doing it today. Because we cannot continue staying and sitting under the oppression of the white people, under the imperialists, like under their rules, under their commands, under their directions. They tell you do this, you do it. They tell you do that, you do it. You see, it's not normal. Like it's not good. Ibrahim Traore once said, we must fight. And that is why we are fighting. Because if we don't fight, we are not going to make it. We must fight. We are here to fight, and we must fight. That's what Ibrahim Traore said someday. Because if we don't fight, we are going to die. Our children will ask us, what did you do? What did you do? Our children will ask us, what did we do? And therefore we have to take a step, and we have to make a change as early as this. We can only make a change if we shall decide to unite ourselves. We come together. We say, this is what we are going to do. And we are going to do it. Me and you together, we are going to do it. I salute Dr. Rikana so much. I salute Ibrahim Traore so much for the greatest work that they are doing. I am the African Streamline. Do let me know what you have to say in the comment section. I do my best to make sure I reply all of them. I give a response. And if it's your first time to be here, press the subscription button. For the returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here. God bless you. I love you so much, my black brothers from Caribbean, from diaspora, and from Africa in particular. You guys are wonderful people. Adios.